This is a historic day, and we'll get right to it. I want to introduce the president of the university, Dr. Robert Frank, for our historic announcement.
Well, good afternoon. It's truly my pleasure to welcome you all to the WisePies Arena, also known as the Pit. This is an historic time for the University of New Mexico as we commemorate our largest gift ever to Lobo athletics. The journey to find the right partner for naming the Pit has taken time and careful deliberation, but it's resulted in a big win for UNM and for New Mexico. Our passionate fans who fill up the arena in a sea of cherry and silver can be proud that the beloved Pit will now be represented by a company owned by New Mexicans that shares our UNM values and supports student success both on the floor and in the university. It's been an honor for me to be part of this process, and I want to thank Steve Chavez, the WisePies family, for their commitment and for being part of our iconic Lobo culture. Now I want to turn it over to Paul Krebs, our athletic director, who's made this possible.
Thank you, Bob. This really is a momentous, historic day for Lobo athletics, and whenever anything like this happens of this significance, there's a lot of people to thank, and I want to certainly start off by thanking Steve and Mike and their whole team. They've been tremendous throughout all of this, and their faith in us, their support and belief in New Mexico and Albuquerque and the university, we really can't thank you enough for your support. The foundation, Henry and Larry Ryan, have been very supportive. Lobo Sports Properties, obviously President Frank's been actively involved in this, and our Board of Regents who really made this possible, and the naming committee at the University of New Mexico. And last but not least, all the logos, everything you see, this has all come together really quickly in season, and Brad Hutchins of our staff have made that happen. So I want to thank everybody. This is a special day. Tremendous support from WisePies. Their generosity has made this naming gift possible. We're talking about a $5 million gift, and the arena, effective immediately, as you can see, is now known as WisePies Arena. When we first discussed and started talking about renovation of the Pit, from the beginning, we made it known that a naming gift was going to be central to the long-term funding of the facility. We've actually had a number of discussions with firms nationally over the past 3 or 4 years. Given the economy, given the fact that there were very few corporations headquartered here, it was proven to be a challenge. But we are so excited and thrilled and honored to have a local company owned by New Mexicans step forward and make this generous gift. For those who might be interested in the timeline of how this all came about, I don't know the exact dates, but I think it probably goes back sometime into early or mid-February, and I would say that Steve and Mike, I think, are longtime Lobo supporters. Not I think, I know they are. They're very supportive of Lobo athletics in general and a number of our sports in particular. And Steve and President Frank and I had a dinner probably in February where this really started picking up some speed, and we've been in constant discussion since that time, and just recently finalized all the particulars. You'll see in a document that we're handing out the terms of the deal, the gift agreement. There's also information on the branding and what kind of branding will occur in and around WisePies Arena. It is a 10-year deal, 500, basically, my Bowling Green math tells me that averages out to $500,000 a year for 10 years. There is some...
Lobo math says the same.
Lobo math, well, yeah. I was referring, Bob, to that great education I had back in the Midwest. Some people questioned our ability to do math back there. So, and it's a 10-year deal. And WisePies would have right of first refusal or right to negotiate a new term of agreement after that 10-year period. In the long run, this actually will allow us to generate more money than we had originally thought. Initially, we talked about naming rights. We talked about a $10 to $15 million range in perpetuity. This is $5 million over 10 years. We anticipate being associated with WisePies for a long time, but it's $5 million over the 10-year agreement. It truly is historic on a number of levels. As President Frank said, it's the largest cash gift in the history of the University of New Mexico athletics. It's the 6th largest gift in the history of the university. I think, as importantly for us, I believe it will encourage others to step forward and support the University of New Mexico, similar to Turner and Margaret Branch and Branch Field. These kinds of gifts, I think, encourage others in our community to step forward and participate in the university. And perhaps as importantly as anything, it will make a difference in the lives of all 450 of our student athletes and all 22 of our teams. The money from this donation will go towards the debt service, towards the pit. It will free up some of our operating budget that we can then begin to put back into our other sports and our other programs. So we're excited about this. And last and certainly not least, I think if we were to step back and when we started this process, the idea of a New Mexico company, locally owned, locally operated, individuals that believe in the university, that believe in our state, and that believe in Lobo athletics, there could not be a better marriage for all of us. So we're excited about this. We're honored to partner with these individuals, and with that, I will turn it over to Susan Elliott, who is here representing WisePies. Susan?
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon. On behalf of the ownership and the executive team of WisePies Pizza and Salad, we want to thank Dr. Frank, Paul Krebs, and Coach Neal, and their teams for their belief in us and in the WisePies Pizza and Salad concept. We are elated to be a part of such a landmark partnership with the University of New Mexico and the naming of WisePies Arena, aka the Pit. From opening our first WisePies Pizza and Salad restaurant on January 18th of this year, to the forecast of opening more than 20 additional restaurants next year, we are fortunate to be able to enter into this $5 million agreement to support our community, higher education, and UNM athletics. In celebration of this agreement, at both the men's December 3rd game versus New Mexico State University and the women's December 14th game versus the University of Texas at El Paso, we will be giving away more than $200,000 in certificates and prizes. Every attendee to each one of these games will receive a certificate valid for a free pizza or salad of their choice at any WisePies Pizza and Salad location. In addition, we will award pizza for a year, $1,000 gift certificate to Vernon's Hidden Valley Steakhouse, and a trip for two to the Mountain West Tournament in Las Vegas in March 2015. The next 10 years will be an incredible journey for both WisePies Pizza and Salad and the University of New Mexico. We feel honored, we are humbled, and we are energized to move forward with this partnership. Thank you, and go Lobos.
Well, on behalf of both basketball programs, the women's program and the men's program, it is a big day, a historic day for both programs. Not only is this arena, the Pit, legendary, now with the help of Steve and Michael and Season, it can really help 450 student athletes reach their goals academically and in the field of play, or really the court of play. I think the amazing thing of the whole deal is that Steve's a local guy, and Michael, they're both local owners, business owners, but not only that, they're friends, and they've been friends to me. Steve's been a supporter of us for 8 years since we've been here. He's a supporter of all our programs, all 22 programs, and so has Michael. And they'll continue to do that. So it's an honor for me to be here, being the head coach of one of the greatest programs, tradition-wise, in the country. And I appreciate what you guys have done, because you put a lot of confidence in what we have here. We do have an unbelievable facility. And I think our guys know that it's a privilege, it's not a right to play in a facility like this. And I just want to thank you guys for believing in what we have here for the future. I mean, your commitment to us for 10 years, and I know it will be longer than that because I know both of you. And I know it'll be longer than that, and I know your belief in what we do here. And as everybody says, go Lobos. And it's one thing to be a Lobo, but it's also, I figured out by being a transport into here, that it's a special place. And I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I'm looking forward to a lot of great wins in this arena. Thanks.
We have a microphone that we'll hand around because of the acoustics, so we'll have a microphone. We're going to shift microphones over. If you have a question and a follow-up, we'll go there. I think we're going to start with Jeff, and I'm going to move these microphones.
The pit is known as the pit. A lot of people are going to call it the pit. Did you guys have any trepidation about not getting bang for your bucks because people aren't going to stop calling it the pit? Was that in any part of the negotiations? And Paul, when did that come up with other people in negotiations? How many businesses were worried that they wouldn't get bang for your buck because people will still refer to this as the pit?
Thank you for your question. I think that one of the commitments that WisePies Pizza and Salad has to our community is to support long-standing traditions. And we understand that it will still be called the Pit. We actually enjoy calling it the Pit ourselves. It was more about our gift and the recognition the university gave us to call this WisePies Arena.
Jeff, I would agree with what Susan had to say. I think many of our long-time fans, there's such great passion in this community. Folks have grown up watching games in the Pit. I think when one of the conversations that Steve and I had early on, he was telling me about his time as a young man coming to games in the Pit. And while I think our fans may continue to refer to it as the Pit, the reality is that on all of our literature, on everything that we produce, you can see the branding that's already taking place. The official name of the building is WisePies Arena, just like the official name of the building right now is University Arena. And those things that we control, that we manage, from tickets to branding in the building to our website, et cetera, we're very proud of this relationship, and we will refer to it from here on out as WisePies Arena.
Paul, you and Coach Neal alluded to the fact that it was important to get a local company on the naming rights. Obviously, this is a high-profile building, and you've probably solicited offers from a variety of nationally owned companies. How much did the local angle play into this, Paul?
Joe, I would tell you that first and foremost, for me, the most important thing was to get a naming deal done for this building. It was critical long-term for our financial success as an athletic department to secure naming rights for the building. I think we've been very clear about that since the renovation. But the fact that it ends up being someone local, a local company, locally owned, locally operated, that has regional, national aspirations, I think we could not have dreamed of a better partnership, a better relationship. It's come together probably far better than we ever could have realized, but the initial intent was simply to find somebody out there, and we have talked to a number of national companies, and in the end, it's probably the best marriage we could have, which is locally owned, locally operated, in the most iconic building in the state.
Paul, JP, KOB TV. Could you be a little bit more specific just what this money helps fund as far as athletically? I know you said it'll source a variety of things with the athletic department. And this relationship, did you approach them? Did they approach you? How did it first get started?
As it relates to the money, JP, the money will go towards debt service on the pit. But what that does is has the ability to free up other monies that we're putting towards debt service that can benefit all 22 of our teams and all 450 of our student athletes in various ways. My discussions with Steve, and we were trying to recall this, Steve is I won't speak for him, but my perception is that he's a longtime supporter of Lobo athletics and probably as importantly the University of New Mexico in a variety of ways. We've had discussions on and off about his wanting to get more involved in to a greater extent. And as those discussions began to move forward, I think we locked in on the idea that the arena naming resonated with him and certainly resonated with us, and then it was a matter of trying to put the deal together.
Any other questions?
Paul, we spoke over the summer about the athletics finances, and you've talked about that, and President Frank, this is for you as well. Was there a timeline on when naming rights had to be done? Did it have to get done this year? I know you wished it had got done 4 years ago, but was there a deadline in place that this had to get done?
From my perspective, and obviously my boss is sitting to my right, from my perspective, it needed to get done as soon as possible. In an ideal world, we would have done this, been able to reach a deal as the renovated pit was being opened. But as I tried to allude in my comments, we renovated and moved into this building at a time when the economy was down, and it was proving to be very difficult to get the naming rights deal done on a national or local level. There was an urgency to get something done, but we certainly wanted a good partner, the right partner, and the right terms for the university. And in the end, while we're several years after the building's opened, I cannot think of a better partner. As I've reiterated, locally owned, locally operated. To me, it works out about as well as it could.
You know, if you go and look nationally right now, you'll see that not many naming deals are actually happening. So the fact that this occurred at all, I think, is a great tribute to Paul's persistence. It's a great tribute to Steve and Michael that they are willing to step up and do this kind of opportunity. These are complicated deals to put together. So we're thrilled it happened. And as has been said several times, that the New Mexico company has chosen to do it is wonderful, but they're very hard to put together. We're thrilled it's happening. It doesn't happen very often anymore because of the state of the world right now. So it's great for New Mexico. It's great for the University of New Mexico. It's a good opportunity, and it's great for us.
But never one specific, get it done by.
Well, you can't do it. You can't dictate it. You can pray for it. That's about all you can do, honestly. I mean, it's great for us, but you know, I could say to Paul, you have to do it, but it doesn't mean he's going to find a company that's willing to do it. It's just not something you can dictate in the world right now.
Jeff Grammer, how about you?
Affect any of the other existing partnerships you have? 65 Point Tacos, Papa John's has a deal after Lobos wins. Does any of that affect, does this deal affect any of that, and does it affect what's sold on the concourse level?
As President Frank said, these are complicated deals. The arrangement is for the naming rights of the building. I think we're in discussions right now, and we'll look at whether we can vend the product. I think there's, if you've not had WisePies pizza, it's a very kind of a niche market, high quality. It's produced in a certain way, and I think there's some real concerns as to whether in the environment of an arena, can you replicate that quality in this building, turning over at a halftime, et cetera. So I think there's some discussions that have to be taken into consideration, and we'll work through that with Season and Mike and Steve. It really has. There are some concerns that we'll have to work through with some partners, but nothing that is of significance. And that adds to the complication that President Frank talked about. When you do these naming rights deals, there's a lot of things that go into it, and in the end, it's worked out marvelously for us, and I think will for WisePies as well.